From the tiny island where people go bananas about royalty, let's instead take a look at some royalty that are all into bananas.
Ooh.
Do you see Banana Man hopping over on the white hot sand? Here he comes.
Welcome to Sushi Bites. Bananas are great. You know, they're technically a berry. They're also absolutely funking delicious. You can make beer out of them. They're a modern marvel. Well, they're modern if you consider that the Cavendish we eat today only gained popularity after the 1950s, when other bananas died out due to banana black plague. The banana is an important part of our lives, and I for one couldn't imagine living without them. It took all sorts of engineering and science to bring the banana to your fruit bowl. This week on Sushi Bites, we're looking at two Famicom games all about bananas. I say all about bananas, but in actuality, this is about as vague as a themed episode can get. I had to come up with something on the spot, and this is the best I could do. Bananas. Banana is a 1986 puzzle game, where you have to get horny Mr. Mole to Miss Mole, and also collect all the food. It's about stockpiling, hibernating, and fornication between underground dweller types. The manual states that the female mole is the player's daughter-in-law. Then why on the title screen do they kiss and a baby mole is born? Does that not seem odd to you? So despite the adultery, what else is here? It's kind of like Boulder Dash if you've ever played that. You can move left, right, and down. You can only move up in this game when you're on a ladder, however. You need to collect the food while avoiding rocks. The rocks can't actually kill you, but if they fall in an awkward place, they can trap you. If you get trapped, you need to press A and B at the same time to kill yourself off. Collect all the food, find Miss Mole, and get to the goal. And get to the goal, if you know what I mean, you dirty little mole. In the dirt, you literally dirty, because you dig in the dirt, you dirty, dirty mole. On the score screen, you'll lose points depending on how many steps you took, because back then scores seemed to matter a lot. This game is equipped with a level creator, which is about the only reason why I'd ever recommend this. If you were playing on the Famicom, you could save your levels to a cassette tape, and keep them forever. Well, forever until the media degrades beyond usable condition, or it has an unfortunate accident involving a magnet. I suppose it's also worth noting that the game's name does have meaning. Collecting a banana will give you a random power-up to help you if you get stuck. You shouldn't need them, as each puzzle has a working solution. Banana is quite frankly a boring-ass time. All 105 or whatever levels there are, I forget. But then again, games weren't exactly complicated back then. It's a product of its time, as a lazy reviewer would say. Or as I would say, because I'm wicked and I'm lazy. Banan-Ouji no Daiboken is a side-scrolling platformer for the Famicom, released in 1991, when the Super Famicom was already on the scene. Surprisingly, this was also localized, but only in Germany. Thankfully, an English-language translation patch of the German version exists, so that's the ideal way to play. There are a few regional differences. The German version has some revised graphics and alters the game show questions. Oh yeah, about that. There are questions you can answer to get items and points throughout the game. This makes the Japanese version a bit of a hurdle to get through. You play as Banana Prince, a native of Banana Island, where they seem to worship the banana. I'm sorry, it's just ridiculous. One day, the Pepper Dragon steals the giant banana and the special banana weaponry passed down through the generations. Prince rushes off to retrieve the items and maybe kick the dragon's ass too. What makes this a little different to most platformers is that you can plant seeds to sprout flowers you can climb. When you reach the top and jump off, you do a spin that can incapacitate most enemies. You also have a basic axe which can be replaced for stronger weaponry. You collect rings, I guess kinda like Sonic? And you can spend these at the casino, weapon shop, or pay for a ride to one of the bonus islands to retrieve one of the stolen items. While playing, you can also find whoever this is, who happens to be the prince's love interest. A kiss from her fills up your life meter, so it's worth trying every door. There aren't any traps, so there's no reason not to. Defeating enemies and opening chests, that's the main format of the game. The controls are okay, maybe a little stiff. The worst moments are when the archaic, old-fashioned design of the game gets in the way. The camera scrolling can be very awkward indeed, especially on vertical stages. When they pull shit like this here, where there's only one cannon that's the correct option, I blow my lid. The swimming controls are awful. Most of the time I do everything I can to stay out of the water because I hate dealing with it. Sometimes a bird appears out of nowhere and takes you to bonus islands. The bad news is if this happens, it'll plonk you back to the start of the level it happened on. A pain in the arse for sure when it happened to me on this level. Screw this level. Now I have to do the majority of it again. There are hidden level warps that allow you to jump to the next area. These aren't a free thing like in Super Mario Bros. No, you're expected to pay for these too. This hidden warp costs 100 rings, but cuts out having to fight the upcoming boss. Rings well spent. The bonus islands are a pain too. It's all quiz questions and dice rolls. You might get a rare opportunity to scratch off panels and get some extra lives. Lives really aren't a concern though. Not only do you have infinite continues, but pick and continue also puts you back at the last checkpoint you reached. There's also a complete password system, so you don't have to play the game in a whole sitting. Though you could with warps quite easily. My personal recommendation is to input the password that starts you at the first level, but with the ultimate weapon, Kingship. The game is a whole lot more fun with that weapon. Couldn't imagine taking on the later bosses like the dragon without it. Banana Prince I can recommend. I quite enjoy the changes made to this game in the German localization, though they seem to be under the impression that the tomato is a vegetable, which it isn't. And it's baffling this wasn't released anywhere other than Germany or Japan. Perhaps with the Super Nintendo out, nobody felt like releasing an NES game. Not that that stopped Nintendo releasing Kirby's Adventure well after the SNES was on the scene. If you're keen on platformers, Banan-Ouji no Daiboken is a thoroughly enjoyable romp, though the level design could do with some work. Another week, another Sushi Bites. This week's intro was provided by the highest paying patron, BritishGaijin. On screen I have links to last week's episode on Cat's Run and Utsurendes, if you're looking for more zany Fama content. This has been Sushi Bites, thanks for watching.